This video is for Theme Control and Sensing, Unit Scratch It, and this is video 3. In this video tutorial I'm going to show you how to edit your sprites. So to understand what we're going to do, you first of all need to know what a sprite is. So if you remember, this area here is my stage, and on my stage I have this cat. This cat is actually a sprite. A sprite is something that appears on our stage. Down here in the Sprites palette, when you create a game, you'll have a collection of different sprites, which are all objects, characters, shapes that will appear throughout your game. This video, I'm going to show you how to edit the sprites. So for example, the cat that's on my stage here is quite big. What I might want to do is I might want to change the size of that cat. To do that, what I need to do is first of all click on the sprite in the Sprites palette down at the bottom. So as you can see, this is my cat that is on this stage. If I click on that sprite to select it, I can then see the scripts that are attached to that sprite. So these scripts here, this bit of program, is attached to this sprite, Sprite 1. I can see that because it's called Sprite 1 down here, and it's also called Sprite 1 up here. Not only does each sprite have a script that you can attach to it, it also has costumes. So if I go to Costumes tab, you can see that I actually have two costumes for this cat. I have the cat with its feet flat on the floor, and I have the cat looking as though it's running. We can actually build a script later on that when we move the cat, we can flip between these two costumes to make it look as if it's walking, but we'll do that later on. What I want to focus on here is how do we edit this sprite, like I said, to make it smaller. Well, what you do, click on the costume that you want to edit and then press on the edit button. This brings up the paint editor, and what we can do is here we can use some basic paint tools to change the look and feel of our sprite. So first of all, what I might want to do is if I scroll my mouse over these buttons at the top, you can see that underneath the arrow it tells me what that button does. So I wanted to change the size of my sprite and make it smaller. So I'm going to use this shrink button. If I click on the shrink button, you can see that it changes the size of my cat. I can keep clicking on that, and the more times I click on it, the smaller it gets. If I'm not happy with the size, I can actually click on this button, which will make it grow. So if I don't want to make it smaller, I might want to make it bigger. I'm going to make mine smaller just a little bit, like that. I could also rotate my cat one way or the other. I can even use this button where I can flip the cat to face the opposite direction. And I can also use this button to flip it vertically, so it's upside down. Like I said also, there's some basic paint editing tools available. So for example, I might want to change the colour of the cat. And so I could use my fill handle, I could choose a different colour, and I could fill parts of the cat in a different colour. If I make a mistake throughout, I can undo those mistakes by pressing the undo button. I can also redo the mistakes if I didn't mean to undo them. Obviously I have other tools as well, such as the paintbrush, the rubber, and other shape tools. Each of these tools has their own properties. So for example, if I click on the paintbrush, I can change the size of the paintbrush here. If I click on the rubber, I can change the size of the rubber here. And each tool has its own properties. Also on this screen, I can import my own picture. If I click on the import button and I have some pictures saved on my computer, I can access those pictures through this window here and import them into my game. We will be doing that in later videos. So for now, I just want to change the size of my cat. I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, like that, and press OK. And you can see that the size of my cat has changed on my screen here. I've decided that what I want to do now is I want to edit the cat again, and I want to draw the cat holding a balloon. So I'm just going to use my brush tool, choose the colour black, choose a smaller brush. I'm going to make it look as if the cat is holding a balloon. So I'm going to very carefully draw a piece of string that the balloon can be attached to. I'm going to choose the colour blue. Then I'm going to draw a balloon. I'm going to use my fill tool to fill that balloon in blue. I might want to zoom into this just so I can see it a bit clearer and make sure that I've filled in all the blue. Like that. I'm happy with that, so I can press OK. And you can see that my cat is now holding a balloon. If I go back to the scripts, you can see that I still have the scripts that I've added in the previous video. And so, if I use my right arrow key, it moves the cat to the right. If I move my left arrow key, press my left arrow key, it moves the cat to the left. Up arrow moves it up, and down arrow moves it down. So you can see that I now have a piece of script that controls the cat, and I've been able to edit how the cat looks.